it going? It's Lenny. Today I have something worth making a video about. This is a JJ-350 baritone guitar. As you can maybe tell, it's kind of like a jazz master, but with a longer neck. And I purchased this yesterday. And I thought, you know what, I have a little bit of money saved up and there's no council tax for the next couple of months just because that's just how it is over here. Yeah, I was like, right, do you know what, I've been eyeing up this thing for a little bit, and I got my little sister one of those Stratocaster copies, a JS-300, a couple Christmases ago from the same shop that I bought this. And I was just kind of blown away by how good that guitar was. Just a little Strat copy, and everything on it was really nice for like a beginner guitar that was like sub £200. The main thing that I really liked on that Stratocaster was the neck. And yeah, so I've been eyeing up getting a baritone for a while, just because, you know, it's always nice to have something different, or at least that's the excuse guitar players tell themselves, that your different guitar does something different. But essentially, this is tuned B to B, so it's almost like a couple of steps down. So obviously E to E is your standard guitar tuning, and then this is just dropped down to B, so kind of like a 5-string bass. So I think it's like a fourth down, but you still have your E, A, and D on the next set of strings, so you could still technically play some of the riffs that you're used to. You just kind of need to work around it a little bit. But I kind of wanted to get something that was a bit lower register. I think I'm a tenor in terms of vocal range stuff, but the way that I play guitar is like most guitar players, I'm super inspired by, you know, Jimi Hendrix, and have a bad habit of putting my thumb over the neck all the time. So a lot of riffs and little song ideas and stuff that I write, like the thing I played at the start, they always end up being in you know, A, the key A, or B, and it's a bit hard for me to kind of get up there, you know, and sing. So what I've kind of discovered playing this baritone is, oh hey, suddenly like all those little riffs are suddenly a lot more easier for me to sing now, which is great, because why would you want to make things harder for yourself? And of course, I'm sure a lot of people may say, just transpose it down, but I'm lazy, so and also as well, I always tune my guitars down a lot as well. I've made funnily enough, it's like the most viewed video I have on my YouTube channel is a tutorial for how to play Living, what is it? Crying, Laughing, Loving, Lying. And I forgot to say that in that video, my guitar is probably tuned like half a tone down or a whole step down anyway. So a lot of people, I suppose a few people tried to learn it and they were like, oh, this doesn't sound right. And I forgot to mention that, but there you go. And I always find as well, like it just feels a bit slinkier, so it feels a bit easier to play. But anyway, this is about this guitar in general. So I'm coming back to this JJ-350, and I gotta say, like, this whole guitar, it doesn't cost too much. You can get this for the price of a Squire, essentially, which are also good guitars too. I've owned a Squire in the past. It was like a Paranormal series one that was a gift, but unfortunately got stolen. But that was a really nice guitar. The only complaint I had about it was maybe the fretwork just a little bit, and also, excuse me, probably just a Pau Ferro fretboard. I think it was Pau Ferro or Indian Laurel, one of the two. But there were times where the fretboard just felt awfully like dry or scratchy, and no matter how much you try and, you know, moisturize the fretboard, it just you know, that feeling's not going away. So, but apart from that, it was a good instrument, and when you had the tension on the neck set right, it did really ring and resonate a bit. But this is within the same kind of price range as a Squire, and honestly, it's maybe just like twice as good as a Squire, if I'm being quite honest, in terms of what you're getting. So this guitar, I was playing this in Merchant City Music yesterday in Glasgow, which is a really nice store, so big up those guys. And yeah, I was just having so much fun on this. It's got a P90, listen to that, it's got a P90 in the neck, which sounds really thumpy, like it's a bit noisy, as most single coils are. I'm just playing through like a Vox Pathfinder 15R, which great amplifiers, super cheap if you can find one, and they're nice and small and loud enough for like a small gig, so cheap. So what more do you want? But this sounds great, you know. I've been fooling around with the the trim peak scheme, and that kind of P90 in the neck just sounds kind of vintagey. It's really nice. It's a bit noisy, but that's just I think that's every single coil guitar I seem to play in. This flat seems to be quite noisy, so I'm sure it's just something to do with proximity to electrics and stuff. But it sounds great. It's just and also sometimes it's nice having a bit of that hum too. In certain scenarios, it feels a bit more alive. But that's great. The middle position's really nice for playing kind of guitar register chords up there. And then of course, what I really like about this humbucker, it's so nice and quiet. It's almost like having another guitar. And there's a caveat with that as well, because you have to watch out with a lot of HSS strats and any guitar that has a humbucker and a single coil. So maybe like a Fender Deluxe Telecaster, I can't remember, the one that has the humbucker in the neck and the single coil in the bridge. What tends to happen is you have this kind of balance issue where one pickup is louder than the other, and that is a thing with this guitar here. Certainly, I think that neck P90 seems to be louder, and I'm not sure if that's because of the noise to signal ratio. So obviously there's a bit of hum coming through, but when you switch to it just gets rid of the hum, and all that noise. It does feel a little bit quieter, just a tiny bit, but when you're playing kind of like your there's more kind of definition to it, so that's really nice. It's not noticeably quieter, but it is noticeably cleaner sounding. There's no like, again, if I move this away, so it's really just kind of close to the amp. So I'm sure really if you were facing away from the amplifier, which I'm not at the moment, it would sound a lot better. But anyhow, that's really nice. The volume taper on the pots is a bit dramatic compared to other guitars I've played, like my Mexican Strat that I put a bunch of stickers on. But I mean, it's under, like, it's around £300, maybe, wherever you're getting it from. So you can't really ask for too much. And what I will say about this guitar, the neck on it is just great, and the fretwork is just great as well. Like, and I will say, if you get a chance to, if you're looking to buy an electric guitar, if it's your first, I'd say give them a go. They're really good guitars. Yeah, I don't know if the frets are stainless steel. They're certainly shiny, you can see that there, and they're certainly really nice to play on. And there's just no sharp edges on the frets whatsoever. Like, I could run my jumper across here and it's not gonna catch. And also, there's just a nice kind of roasted maple neck. Now, I'm not too crazy about, oh, it's got roasted maple or all that kind of stuff. If it plays nice, great. That's fantastic. But I suppose if you like roasted maple, um, yeah, I will say the satin feel is really, really nice. Um, I don't mind a bit of gloss. I have an SG with a nitro on there, and that to me is nice and smooth. And also the Stratocaster I have is a 70s inspired one, so the whole neck is, front to back is just lacquered and with like gloss, and that's fine with me as well. My hands don't get too sweaty when I'm playing guitar, which I know for some players that can be a bit of a sticking point, quite literally. But yeah, it's just a nice guitar. It does open up a lot of opportunities, a lot of avenues for your playing, for just kind of experimenting with different chords as well. So really spacing out those triads, which I love doing anyway. And yeah, I have the tremolo going on this, and the spring reverb just dimed just to get that nice kind of old school sound. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, it's my first day. The guys in the store were like, "Oh, you should really set this up with heavier strings." So currently on the moment, this is a 27-inch scale. So if you're used to playing a Fender guitar, it's not going to be much of a jump to go from that guitar to this, 25.5-inch scale to this. Honestly, it kind of just feels like playing my SG, and the reason I'm saying that is because the neck is just a couple inches longer. With the SG as well, like you always feel like the neck is is all the way out, which can be a bit disorientating sometimes if you're going from your Stratocaster to that or whatever. But this just feels right at home because I'm used to that kind of, an inch or so that way. The radius on this is great too, 9.5-inch radius. So it's kind of in between like vintage style kind of radius and more kind of modern. So there's no choke outs on the frets. Yeah, so that's really nice. And there's 22 frets on this, so quite modern, which is great. It's nice to have that extra fret sometimes. I always think as well, when you have 21 frets, there's something that's just a bit odd about that. Of course you can, on a guitar, of course you can bend up to the D or whatever. But it's nice having that extra fret there. Yeah, so really, I'm overall just really impressed with this guitar. Yeah, quite thumpy, with tens. I really like this with tens. I might change to 14s or whatever the staff at the shop were saying. But until then, I actually really am enjoying just the slinkiness of it all. It's really nice. And because you've got that scale length, you still have the tension to have the dynamic range. It's all there. It's all there. It's really good. So yeah, if you don't have a baritone guitar, I'd recommend, playing one. If your friend has one, or going into a shop and trying a baritone guitar, because they are a good bit of fun, and you don't need to tune down your regular guitar. I guess it's all convenience at the end of the day. I guess you could do that if you really wanted to and just put some heavier strings on there. But I mean, now you can get one for like nothing. Well, I say nothing, okay, that's a bit of a gross overstatement there, but relatively affordable. So I'd really recommend having a look at a JJ-350. Another thing about baritone guitars, when I was looking at baritone guitars, I watched this video from a YouTuber called Chords of Orion, I don't know how you say it, but one of the points he was making is if you have your eye on a certain baritone guitar, really consider purchasing it, because they don't always hang around for long, just because there's not as much of a demand for baritone guitars as like a Fender Stratocaster or a Telecaster, or you know, a Les Paul or Jazzmaster. So consider getting one if there's one specifically. For example, I'm not really big into like pointy guitars, or, well, that's a lie, I do like kind of like your Explorers and V's and stuff like that, but I'm not into like really modern, you know, like, well, look at this kind of sanded body and 24 frets and like Fishman fluence pickups. I just like something that's a bit more like retro or understated. So this is like a Jazzmaster, but I am a fan of Silverburst. I will say I do really like this is called Moonburst, but the finish on this is also really nice too. I've not really looked at it too much, but I can't really see like any kind of inconsistencies with the finish, and there's like no kind of sharp bits on the hardware as well. So yeah, all in all, really, really impressed. It's a good guitar, yeah. So yeah, have a little look at some baritone guitars. Try them out. I hope this video was entertaining to watch, especially if you're thinking of getting one of these guitars as well. They're really good. And yeah, if you don't have a baritone, you're looking to add one to your arsenal of guitars, for studio stuff, just whatever, or playing. I think I'll probably play this live quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to show my band members this. Definitely get one. It's, you know, it's good fun. So yeah, peace. And yeah, have a good day. Thanks for watching these videos. Also, I think there's now like over 300 subscribers on this YouTube channel, so thanks very much for watching these videos. And hopefully I can make some more cool stuff. Yeah, just let me know. Anyway, bye. Have a good day. See ya.